I saw this clip on Don's live show this morning, like the Hot Topics. And he had Jimmy Gomez, I think his
I
name
think that's
was,
what his name was. Yeah.
on there. And hey, okay, let me just say this: Jimmy looks like a great guy. He looks like a very nice dude. He has the right intentions and stuff. I ain't saying nothing bad about him or nothing like that. But I saw a comment there that made me laugh. But um, I had a grievance. I was actually really pissed off by something that he said. Again, this goes with the theme of being abandoned by our government. So we're gonna watch this segment, and I'm gonna actually clip this part of the episode and send it to the Don Lemon Show because I wasn't even able to talk and address this on the show today because there were just other people talking. I ain't even mad about that. But I'm going to clip this part and send it to Don because this was my response and what I wanted to say today. So go ahead and run this. I'll give you a little context. And yeah.
Things that make you go, And yes, I agree with saying Walz needs to do, you said grow a pair. Yes, Walz. Donald Trump is saying, he's telling you. He tells you what he's going to do and he's doing. He's saying he's going to institute the Insurrection Act. You need to institute the National Guard and let them fight it out. Tell the people of Minnesota to go home. Shut it down. Shut the state down. Tell people to go home. Close the offices. Close everything. Shut it down. Bring in the National Guard and let them fight it out so that people can be at home and they can be safe. They don't have to go to work. Work from home, do something, do something. As the governor of this state, what I'm doing, I'm calling a state of emergency. A state of emergency. I am closing all federal or state offices, and this is a day off. I am bringing in the National Guard to fight this tyranny. It's time to stand up to this.
Yeah, okay. So go ahead and then go to the next timestamp and have that ready.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's the context of what Don was saying, right? And then he brings in Jimmy Gomez, right? And this is kind of where I had my grievance with the whole conversation. I think I'm seeing in our comments. What did he say? You want to read some comments before we go?
Yeah, so one of the things was he made me mad. You could see Don wasn't feeling it. Gomez was weak for that comment. He sounded scared to speak up.
And then Monique said,
yeah, that was what it was.
Oh, yeah. Gomez was weak. Yeah, not feeling him.
Yeah,
and then, yeah. And Democracy's Jesus also has an inkling. So, yeah. All right. So let's go and let Jimmy Gomez kind of talk. This one's a little bit longer of a clip. So just kind of hang in there for a little bit.
Wrong.
So then what can people do, Representative? Because I have been saying, send in the National Guard, Governor Walz. Like, why won't he send in the National Guard and stop this? Declare a state of emergency, because this is when Renee Good was killed. Sadly, I said this is going to get worse. They're going to become emboldened because they are impeding an investigation. It appears that they are covering it up. This woman did not have to die. For by all accounts, you can look at the video. She was not trying to run over the man. She was turning away from him. And if you actually look at the analysis, he wasn't standing in front of the car where the shots were fired, were from the side. They are not investigating him. They have raised over $600,000 for a GoFundMe for him. So it's time. Is it time to call in the National Guard to stop these ICE goons from terrorizing the people of Minnesota?
I think one of the things about calling on the National Guard is that Donald Trump can then federalize them. So quickly they can be under his command, turned against your own people. I think what needs to be done is that what you're seeing across the country in some jurisdictions is where local police are being put out to contain the situation. I think that they're trying to do that in Minneapolis. They're doing that in some small cities in LA County. That will help prevent this from escalating. But calling out the National Guard, he could just in his own right all of a sudden federalize them, and they're already there. So that is also a dangerous situation. Right? And what he's trying to do, in my opinion, is to normalize the use of the National Guard and the Marines for domestic law enforcement purposes, so that when he declares there is a insurrection or a stolen election, he can send them in, and he hopes the American people won't push back or fight back. That is extremely dangerous. We saw that at the beginning. And this is something that I've noticed that authoritarians do. China, what they tend to do when it comes to Taiwan, they do these military operations and they cross into Taiwanese waters. Well, at first, people would throw up their arms, you'd have international outcry, and it would be a big deal. Now, the international community doesn't bat an eye. So he's trying to normalize the actions of ICE and CBP, which makes it very, very dangerous for our democracy.
Okay, so it's when I hear you say that, Representative, you and I have a very honest and candid relationship. It makes it sound like we have no recourse. And it also makes me think like, it sounds like if you said Donald Trump can then turn around and nationalize, I don't know, you're better at assessing what that means, if that's true, what could happen.
Yeah.
But it sounds to me like this is a tyrannical government was what the Second Amendment was about. So is it only in the hands of the people to decide what happens next? If the people don't want this, do they have to rise up against their own government right now? I hate to ask that, but that's what it sounds like.
We have to understand the truth.
Okay, pause it right here before he responds.
Not only our
pause it right there real quick. Okay, so that's a very valid question, right? What do you think, Katie, so far?
So does he seem like he doesn't even really believe what he's saying? Because I feel like you can kind of see it just in his body language. He's tighter, and it's almost like he's reading a script. And like when he was talking about, was it China? And it was kind of like...
Yeah, in Taiwan.
Yeah, I just don't...
Like, why are you over here comparing shit? No, we over here, bitch. Why? We don't need to compare shit to shit. We got a situation over here. I don't think we need to be worried about no fucking Taiwan and China right now. I mean, we can have sympathy for them or whatever's going on, but hey, do you not see the situation at hand? Like,
how we talk about, like, what was it on Dawn's show today with Caroline Levitt when she started attacking that person? It was like a switch flipped. And I feel like that was what happened with him, where it was like he was in honest mode and then like he went into corporate Congress or whatever mode.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sorry. Annabelle opened the door. Just go ahead and is there a different timestamp? Is there a third timestamp?
No, there was only two. But
okay. No, just continue from there because he answers the question. This is what really pissed me the fuck off because this is his solution. And yeah.
Let me rewind it a touch.
People to decide what happens next. If the people don't want this, do they have to rise up against their own government right now? I hate to ask that, but that's what it sounds like.
We have to understand the true threat Donald Trump is to not only our own physical well-being, but also our democracy as a whole. He's operating outside the bounds of the law. We've said this for months now, and he's becoming more and more belligerent. The way we have to tackle it is it's a multi-front effort. One, you got to do it in the courts. Even though a lot of the courts, we've lost some of the court cases, especially the ones that got to the Supreme Court, but we've also won some of those. That's why the National Guard, the control of the National Guard in California and different states have been returned to the control of the governor. So you have to fight them in the courts. We did that also with when I wasn't allowed in to an ICE detention center. The public law states that I should not be denied entry and I could do spot inspections, unannounced visits. Well, we won that case. Now they're trying to say that doesn't apply anymore because of the new one big billionaire bill with that new ICE and CBC ICE slush fund that's in there. So we're going to keep pushing on like through the courts, through legislation, trying to prohibit the use of funding, and then also in the streets. I'm a firm believer in nonviolent civil disobedience. I've been telling people we have to be trained in nonviolent civil disobedience. So when things happen, people the American people can see who the true perpetrators are, who are violating the rights of individuals. All those actions together are working. When you have Joe Rogan basically say that Trump has created a Gestapo that's asking for people's papers, even if they're citizens or not, that means the message is getting out. So we have to keep doing it over and over and over again. And it's not going to be one fell swoop, but we're chipping away. And that's why also the midterms are so important. If we get the power of the purse, we can actually put language in that prevents them from using CBP and ICE in the interior of the country, in cities themselves. So that's the battle. But it's not going to be easy.
Okay, shut him the fuck
people
up.
are rising.
Oh my God! Like, okay, if we try to follow that, we are not going to get to the midterms. Yeah, okay. Angry Army vet, who is obviously a veteran, says, what he's saying is true, not the answer you want to hear, but it's true. They could easily be federalized. It put the National Guard in an awkward position. Keep in mind, these are also our neighbors. I understand that, Army vet, but like, I think that we as a country, especially, like, we don't want to feel like we're in a lose-lose situation, like, no matter what we do. But we're also at the point now where we have to remember that, like, we can't control what people think and how people act. It's up to other people to grow a pair, and like these leaders of, say, the Minnesota National Guard, to understand that if they were to be federalized, what they were doing would be breaking the law. And like, but Jazzy also brought up a really good point. Let me see. Okay, she said, I'm sorry, but this strategy will lead to failure. How do you fight someone with the courts when they are not following court orders? Absolutely. They're not following any laws. They're not following any protocol. And they're not following any bills or like court orders, because that's just what they don't care. They don't give a fuck. And I'm tired of seeing, well, we're putting in for articles of impeachment and we're putting in a bill for this and that. Who cares? He doesn't.
Look, all right. Let me shut this whole shit the fuck down, because I've been waiting to say this shit all fucking day. He can miss me with every single piece of that bullshit, okay? So basically what he said to all of y'all straight to your face on Don Lemon fucking show with hella people watching was that, so hey, this is what we're gonna do, guys. So we're gonna me and my friends in the government, we're gonna go and not do shit in the courts, okay? And then you, peasant, are gonna go out there and get your, we believe in peaceful protest here, okay? But but it's working. It's really working. It's chipping away. So you go out there, but peacefully get your ass whooped every day on a daily basis, all the way to November, okay? So peacefully get your ass shot right in the face. And if you don't really like face stuff, why don't you peacefully sacrifice your leg and peacefully bleed out your femoral artery? And then also make sure you peacefully let them break down your fucking door, kidnap your entire family, okay? Yeah. And then they're gonna take your wife into a porta potty in the middle of the fucking world in the woods, and she needs to peacefully go in there, and God knows what happens to her peacefully, okay? And we're gonna see so much fucking change in here. Still, meanwhile, we're in the courts not doing a motherfucking thing. And then also peacefully go ahead and just peacefully get your ass whipped all the way to fucking November. Okay, cool. It's gonna work. Go team. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Why don't you take your dumb ass out there and go do that shit? We paying you to go peacefully get your ass whooped. So why don't you get to it, bitch? And if we gonna take it into our own hands, you ain't gonna like how the fuck it look. Okay? bitch. So sorry, Jimmy. I'm sure you're a nice guy, but you got us fucked up for even saying some dumb shit like that. That's what I wanted to say on Don Lemon's show.
This is a good summary of everything you just said.
This is a load of barnacles.
Bruh.
Yeah,
That shit
like,
just made me so mad.